I went ahead and trimmed the hat down a little bit on the top here. It's a little bit too long, so I took about 1/8 of an inch off. It's way too tall, and technically they're not that long. You could leave it longer if you want, it's up to you. But I think it looks a little more proportioned when it's not as long, and I may even trim it down. I can tell here it's a little bit shorter than here, so I need to trim a little more off here. I'll do that later. The next thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to try to put the ears in. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is I put lines, because his head's tilted a little ways this way. I put a line there and I put a line here. Okay, and I kind of look at it from the front to see if it's, and from the top, looking at it, placing my fingers where, and all that looks pretty even. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take a knife and I'm going to just do a V cut right here all the way to the top. Okay, and we're going to just cut that out. Alright, just like so. Same thing over here. These aren't going to be as prominent as some of the ones I've done with Obama or the other. We just want to put an ear in here. And we're going to just go in here a little bit and trim this out a little bit. Alright, we're going to make it, of course, a little deeper down at the bottom, which you can do. Alright, and we'll trim all that up eventually. Alright, and so we have the ear there, so we're just going to trim this out a little bit more. We're going to dig this out a little further. Alright, same thing over here, a little bit at an angle. It's like putting a C in there. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make that C, as you can see here, hopefully that's nice and clear for you. I'm going to put this little C right here. Okay, it's actually at the top of the hat and comes down a little ways, so we can leave a little bit of liberty there to put an ear in. This is really hard to match it up because you really can't see both of them at the same time like you can an eye, so it takes a little more time, and I may end up doing some of this offline, but what I want to do is just put a stop cut. Okay, just like so, and then we're going to very carefully come up with our tip of the knife and cut that out. Now if it doesn't free up like it just didn't, you go back and you recut it. Alright, and then hopefully it will come out. There, I feel it freeing up. But see, it's hooked there. You don't want to pull. Try not to pull things out, or pull things or push things out if it's not ready to, ready to be loosened up. Just go back and make your stop cuts until it frees up. Alright, just like I did there. Alright, and I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to put a stop cut. Now again, you can use your parting tools if that's more what you're up to using. I like using a knife. That's just my preference in carving. And there's no right or wrong way really in any of it. Now some things might be a little easier with a parting tool and with some other things, but for the most part I'm much more comfortable with the knife than I am any other tool. And that's just because I carve all the time with a knife. Okay, so we're going to go all the way up here to the hat because it's resting. He's got kind of big ears. We can trim the ears back up a little bit too as time goes on. And we're going to kind of go inward here in a little bit. Alright. If I bring that camera too close, sometimes I think you'll miss some stuff which you already have due to my ignorance here and not paying attention because I get absorbed in the carving and trying to do the work here. And we're going to just kind of scoop this out at an angle, and we're just going to kind of clean that up a little bit. We'll work on that later. But we've got the ears cut out, and we're going to bring this up just a tad. I think both ears are going to come up a little ways. Alright. This one's going to come up a little ways too. Alright. Just like so. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to take the mustache. He's going to have a mustache. Now, no beard. Alright. Just the mustache. If you want to put a beard on him, it'd be a lot simpler to do that, but I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to round off the top of the nose here. Okay? Let's work on the nose a little bit. And then here I'm sweeping this out. Putting a curvature out underneath. Okay? Just like so. And I'm going to round that off in the corners. Okay. Now that mustache, okay, is right underneath his nose, and it's going to come in the crease of where his mouth is. So normally we put a crease in here, right? And then put a face, put the lips in. Well, we're going to make this crease just like so, just like we normally would, alright? And we're going to just take our time. We're going to go past the nose a little bit, just like so. See that? Coming up a little bit past that round part of the nose. Let's make sure you see what I'm doing here. Okay, here's the nose. Alright, we're coming up just a tad higher past the nose, like a little bit of a U shape up here, and then we're going to come down and around. That's the first cut we're going to do right now. That's just a stop cut. Now we're going to bring this down, and we're going to just bring that out. Alright? Now we're not going to do anything on that side right away. Alright? Same thing here. We're going to take our point of our knife, and we're going to follow that down and around, and then take our point of the knife and just take that out. Well, I'm trying not to tear that. I just told you not to do. It's hard not to do that, I'll be honest with you. It's so much easier to just go in there and grab it and take it out. But try to not do that if you can help it. Okay? Alright, his face is shaping up. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to round this. Alright? Now the nose is right here, remember, right in here. So we're going to take our knife and we're going to dig pretty deep. And that's that little V cut there. See? Just like so. Alright? It's right underneath that nose, but it's up a little ways. Alright? Same thing over here. We're going to cut the little V out. There you go. Just like so. Alright? Good. We're going to round this off a little bit. And I'm going to bring this down a little bit as well. And just kind of round this up a little bit. We'll worry about this portion of his face in a minute here. Because he has a mustache, and I want to see a little bit of a lip, we're going to do this. His mustache is going to come down like this. And like this, just with like the Santa's, okay? But we're going to kind of even it out a little bit. Just like so. A little bit of a... I'm trying to think here how I want to do this. I'll be right back.